What if your gaming victories could translate into real-world rewards? And what if a new game was set to blur the lines between immersive gameplay and tangible investments? Today, we're exploring Off the Grid by Gunzilla Games, a title that's generating buzz in both the gaming and crypto communities. This isn't just another battle royale, it's an ambitious fusion of storytelling and blockchain technology. With its native token, Gun, recently launched across major exchanges, there's a lot to unpack. So whether you're a gamer looking for the next big thing or an investor eyeing emerging opportunities, this video is for you. Stick around as we get into the history of Gunzilla Games, dissect the tokenomics of Gun, outline the company's future goals, assess potential risks, and highlight other AAA blockchain games slated for 2025. My name's Kareem and welcome back to the Crypto Code by ICN Talks. Trust me, this is the only video you need to fully grasp what Off the Grid brings to the table. You do not want to miss this. Have you ever wondered what happens when cinematic storytelling meets cutting-edge gaming? Enter Gunzilla Games, founded in 2020 with a mission to revolutionize multiplayer experiences. Their debut project, Off the Grid, is a cyberpunk-themed battle royale that promises more than just action. It offers a narrative-driven adventure. Set in a dystopian future, the game allows 150 players to engage in both PvP and PvE missions, where every decision impacts the overarching storyline. But who's behind this ambitious endeavor? The team boasts industry heavyweights like Neil Blomkamp, the visionary director of District 9 and Elysium, serving as chief visionary officer. Alongside him is Richard Morgan, the acclaimed author of Altered Carbon, contributing as the scriptwriter. With such a powerhouse lineup, it's no surprise that expectations are sky high. Financially, Gunzilla Games isn't just playing in the indie leagues. They've attracted serious capital from some of the biggest names in both gaming and crypto. And in March 2024, the company closed a $30 million funding round, and what really stood out was a $10 million strategic token investment that came in as a part of that round, co-led by CoinFund and Avalanche's Blizzard Fund. If you're not familiar with those names, CoinFund is one of the OG venture firms in the Web3 space, with a portfolio full of early movers in DeFi, NFTs, and infrastructure. And Avalanche's Blizzard Fund is basically the rocket fuel for projects building on the Avalanche network. So, the fact that both of these players are backing Off the Grid tells us something important. They see real potential in what Gunzilla is building, not just as a game though, but as an ecosystem play. When you add up all the previous rounds and strategic partnerships, Gunzilla has raised over $76 million to date. That's a massive war chest for a gaming startup, especially one in the Web3 space, where most projects are still struggling to prove there's a viable market for blockchain gaming. This level of funding doesn't just help them polish the graphics or hire more developers, it gives them a runway to build something sustainable, test out tokenomics over the long term, and navigate the inevitable hiccups that come with pioneering new territory. Now, let's be real, blockchain gaming has seen multiple hype cycles, and most of them have crashed into the same wall: broken, unsustainable tokenomics. So, naturally, the question on everyone's mind is, what's different this time with Gunzilla's Gun token? And can it avoid the same mistakes that derailed so many GameFi projects before it? At the center of this experiment is the Guns platform, Gunzilla's own Layer 1 blockchain that underpins Off the Grid and any future titles that come into the ecosystem. Now, instead of leaning on the tired play-to-earn model that led to inflation and mass dumping, Gunzilla is taking a different approach: play to own. This means players can earn in-game items through regular gameplay, gear, skins, maybe even full character builds, and then they can choose to mint those into NFTs if they want true digital ownership. So, no upfront NFT purchases, no locked content behind paywalls, just earn it through play, own it, and do what you want with it. Trade, sell, or even flex. But let's be honest, cool in-game economies are only part of the picture. How do we stop it from mass dumping and completely crashing? So here's where Gunzilla is trying something interesting. They're committed to reinvesting 30% of Off the Grid's gross revenue from battle passes, in-game cosmetics, and other digital sales into buying back Gun tokens off the open market. And these repurchased tokens are then funneled back into the game's reward pool, helping to support ongoing incentives while adding steady buy pressure that connects in-game activity to token value. Now, here's where things get more technical. Allocations and vesting schedules, the stuff most people gloss over, but where a lot of projects go wrong. The maximum supply of Gun is 10 billion tokens, and they're distributed across 5 main buckets. Number 1, community rewards and player incentives, so that's 30%. Number 2, team and advisors, they get 20%. Number 3, investors and private sale participants, they get 20%. Number 4, treasury and ecosystem fund, that gets 25%. And number 5, finally, is liquidity and exchange listings, which gets 5%. So that's fairly standard, but what stands out is the vesting structure. So the team and advisors are on a 12-month cliff, followed by 36 months of linear vesting. That means no one from the core team touches their tokens for the first year, and after that, they unlock slowly over 3 years. And the early investors, well, depending on the round, are subject to a vesting schedule that includes a 6 to 12-month cliff and 12 to 24 months of linear unlocks after that. And then this gradual release is designed to prevent the kind of post-launch token dumps that have wrecked other ecosystems in the past. And actually, when I share a screen later on, I'll show you exactly how to see that. And as of launch, the initial circulating supply was kept intentionally low, under 10% of the total supply. That gives the ecosystem some breathing room to grow without flooding the market. And inflation, it's expected to be gradual and controlled, mostly driven by gameplay rewards and ecosystem incentives rather than excessive token emissions. The 30% revenue buyback adds a deflationary element, in theory, essentially creating a feedback loop that rewards both engagement and patience. So, is it bulletproof? Of course not. At the end of the day, tokenomics in GameFi is still one giant experiment, and this is just Gunzilla's take on solving the puzzle. Guys, tokenomics is such a fascinating topic that so many different experiments are happening across DeFi, GameFi, SocialFi. So let me know in the comments if you want a video just on tokenomics, and we'll get that ready for you. They've clearly put thought into long-term alignment with mechanisms that aim to balance sustainability, balance growth, and ownership. But this space is littered with great white papers and broken economies, and no one, not even the best funded studios, has cracked the formula just yet. So while it's promising on paper, I'm genuinely curious to see how this plays out in the wild, because in GameFi, solo tokenomics aren't just a nice to have. They're the difference between building a real economy and just another pump and dump. All right, so let's pull up the screen and dive a little deeper into the game, the hype around it, and the current price action of the GUN token. All right, so before we get started, today's April 4th is the day of recording, and obviously I just wanted to showcase what's happening in the markets today. Trump has announced the tariffs, and obviously X and all social media, the news are going crazy. People are arguing on both sides of the table, saying what he's doing is great, but what he's doing, and the other side is saying what he's doing is wrong, and that we're going to see a global recession. I have different views on this that I'll talk about later, but in general, it's definitely dominating the news, definitely dominating the markets as well. And unfortunately, crypto is not immune to any of this. So if we look at what's happening in the week, it's red and blood across all. We're also seeing this across, the Fortune 500 companies, the NASDAQ, the whole stock market is taking a beating right now. I think trillions of dollars has been wiped out. Not necessarily because we haven't seen yet the repercussions of those tariffs, but it's just the uncertainty and what's going to happen next. No one really knows, because this is the first time in history that a blanket tariff across all countries has happened. So people don't know what's going to happen. Obviously, things are going to get more expensive for American citizens, and just there's so much uncertainty. So obviously, we're seeing a bloodbath. But for me, this is great. I mean, keep watching this. This might be a great time to get some discounted pricing. I don't know if I would do it today, but definitely keep an eye out on what's happening, because I think some people are going to get really rich from this dip, and obviously it's not going to be down forever. This happens, it's a cycle, and just be prepared. I think this is a great time to reset and look at our portfolio again. I have taken everything out of alts. I'm only sitting in Bitcoin because I believe in times like this, gold and Bitcoin tend to do the best. Bitcoin obviously more volatile than gold, but in general, that's what I'm doing right now. I'm completely out of alts during this time. All right, so I wanted to show you guys ICN.live. I wanted to show you our flagship ecosystem product. It's a brand new and fresh Web3 news platform. You'll find everything, all the articles in gaming, AI, blockchain, and of course, Bitcoin. It's an excellent resource to stay up to date with the latest news. You can also, if you scroll down to the bottom, you can see all the latest news that we have. And I wanted to show you, if you join our Telegram, you'll get access to the latest news notifications as well. So please do that. Check out all our social media. We are across all of them, Instagram, TikTok, all of them. Go check them out. And we do stay up to date with the latest news. So I wanted to, today, since we're doing gaming, I wanted to go into some of the articles that we have across gaming. So the first one I wanted to touch on was Nintendo digital game lending revolutionizes sharing for Switch users. This is actually really cool. These traditional legacy console makers, it's been very difficult for them, like families and friends, to kind of share games across the different devices. So now they're planning it with the Nintendo Switch 2 on the horizon, that this digital lending feature aligns well with the company's strategy to enhance user experience. So players can now enjoy greater flexibility without feeling tied down to a single console. Very, very exciting news from Nintendo. Excited to see that. And then another one I wanted to talk about today was this article about Assassin's Creed, how it shadows the US sales surge as it tops March 2025 gaming charts. According to Circana's monthly report, Assassin's Creed Shadow led all premium game sales in the US, pushing Ubisoft back into the center of the gaming conversation. You know, gaming is such a huge industry. It's a massive one globally, and it's great to see how this intersection is happening between gaming and Web3. But right now, and I want to talk about this later, is that yes, great, we're seeing AAA games coming into the crypto space and being able, gamers being able to kind of contribute and invest and play and earn from these games. But the reality is there are so many Web 2 games or traditional games that have such a huge following and a huge mind share that I feel like if you have all of these different games coming out from traditional AAA games at the same time as these crypto AAA games are coming out, it might kind of take away from the attention of those games. But again, we're definitely going in the right direction, so I'm excited to see where this all plays out. I have two boys; they're big gamers, so I'm staying up to date with what they play and what they like to do. But I can definitely see what's coming for them, and I'm excited for that. The next article I wanted to talk about was Web3 games on consoles. This is also very exciting. We have never seen this before. And there's a lot of talk and hype about this kind of blockchain gaming revolution coming to Xbox and PlayStation, which are undoubtedly the two largest consoles that we have, right? So I know for a fact that Sony is working on a layer 2, for example, to kind of put all of their games into one ecosystem so that people can, people spend hours, thousands of hours building up characters, building up different weapons, and building up, time dedicated to a game that they traditionally can't do anything with those assets, right? They consider them assets because they've spent their time and money on these things. But now, looking at the technology that we have with blockchain, this is really going to, shake up the industry where, you can earn rewards by playing games. You can actually build up assets within the games and trade them if you wanted to, or pass them on to your children, things like that, which is really, really cool. And so now getting a console to add to that layer of gaming is really exciting. I can't wait to see what's going to come out of this. And not only do we see that with Xbox and PlayStation, but we're also seeing it with Sui. Sui's building their own console and a few others as well. So very excited to keep an eye on that. Next up, let's go into Gunzilla. So this is they've been working on this for the past 5 years. They started in 2020, as we discussed. And so this is their ecosystem. This is their homepage, let's say, for all of this stuff that they're going to be building out. They have created their own layer 1 as well. Off the Grid seems to be their first title. And so if you click on go to website here, it'll take you to Off the Grid's specific where you can get it. So you can get it here on Epic Games. I wanted to just play a quick video as well, just to show you kind of the gameplay and what this is all about. Let me just refresh it quickly. But it's very cool. It's another battle royale. But in this time around, you can actually earn tokens. You can actually trade assets as well. So it's very exciting. I'll put the volume down a little bit.
A lot of hard work.
Graphics looks amazing. I mean, it's really exciting to see how this is all playing out. 5 years in the making.
Our first globally broadcast battle. Welcome to the ultimate real-life gaming arena. It's all the thrill on my shoes, but the real one.
All right, just play 30 seconds, but it looks really, really cool. I'm very excited to have a look at it as well. So moving on, I just wanted to show there's so many KOLs, there's so many influencers that are behind this project. Mario Naufal, very well known, and he makes so many disclaimers in his posts. And there was like a lead up to the launch of the token, and obviously they wanted to create as much hype as possible. I think it kind of coincided with Trump's tariffs, so it's kind of taking a backseat. But definitely in the gaming industry, it's especially on X, it's really taking the mind share. And so here he's like, investment, volatile markets, you say? Just look at the winners delivering continuously and you'll be fine. Gun by Guns, an L1 blockchain crafted for AAA gaming, marked over $15.8 billion staked and 1.6 million plus participants in the latest Binance launch pool, which is a huge success in that sense. Its debut game, Off the Grid, has hit 14.5 million plus wallets and 480 million transactions, which is incredible. Conceptualized by an Oscar-nominated director known for his work on District 9, Elysium, and Gran Turismo, nothing is ever bleak. Launching today on Binance, OKX, BitGet, KuCoin, Gate, and more to come. There's a lot, it's very exciting because we've been waiting for a AAA game to launch finally on chain, and we're seeing it now finally happen in 2025. So a lot of hype around it. And then Mario Naufal, I think, again does another post right before the launch. So he actually did a whole sequence of posts up to the launch, including a live stream with other peers in the industry, including one of the founders of Off the Grid, where they discussed a lot of the things that are happening. So I am proud of the Guns team for making history. Again, he repeats all of the amazing claims, $15.8 billion staked and so on, and then joined the Countdown show on Monday at 8:30 a.m. This is all part of the marketing plan. I'm sure they've been planning this for a long time, but you need to understand, like, your go-to-market strategy in this space, in gaming, or even in crypto, when you launch something, is around KOLs, influencers. You need to have a strong marketing strategy to really make a successful launch. And so they even took it one step further, where they did a whole live video, which I wanted to show you here. But one more thing I wanted to actually touch on is, look at this. Like, he keeps like, disclaimer: we are investors in this project and receive benefits from our involvement. This content is for promotional purposes only and is not financial or investment advice. Listen, I actually appreciate that he's very being open about that. Because nowadays you just don't want to be caught shilling something that ends up doing. And again, tokenomics is all an experiment. I have yet personally to see a successful tokenomics model, whether that's across gaming specifically. Let's talk about that, gaming or SocialFi. So I'm excited to see how this experiment plays out. I hope this tokenomics works, and I hope it does make sense, so that other games can start to learn to do something similar and see how that works. So excited to see how that plays out. So again, another post right before the launch. He's hyping it up. He does a whole interview with the founders of Off the Grid, talking about the successes, what their plans are, and again, this is all part of the marketing strategy to get everyone to know what the game is and what they're working on. So I just wanted to show you guys quickly some more gameplay of this, how it plays and what the game's all about.
Of battle royale and extraction shooter, where up to 20 teams of 3 compete to extract hexes and be the last team standing. Once you drop on your selected location, you loot to find weapons, cash, and hexes. Extracting a hex is the only way to get items out of the map. As soon as you pick up that sweet loot box, they'll be gunning for you. The grid closes in on you as time ticks down until the last team is standing. And that win earns you some in-game currency and, of course, bragging rights.
So very cool. I mean, it's like Fortnite and all these other games where you battle out into the last man standing or last woman standing, and then you win tokens and you win rewards. So great. Fantastic. And then moving on, just want to show you some gameplay. Also part of their marketing strategy is to get as many streaming influencers to play the game and showcase the kind of the gameplay and how fun it is to play. But again, the transactions, the wallets, number of wallets, everything is very bullish, very exciting. It's getting a lot of adoption, and hopefully it maintains that adoption moving forward and that momentum. Next up, I wanted to show you Off the Grid's actual X page, so you can follow it and stay up to date with all the latest that's happening there. They post very frequently, so you can check that. So this is Play Off the Grid. All right, so you can follow Gunzilla Games here, and then moving on, I just wanted to show you that they're proud to announce this, the iconic. That Gunzilla Games has acquired the iconic Game Informer, which is a gaming publishing house as well. So they're making a lot of moves to really dominate in this space. And then I wanted to show you Theodore Agranat is one of the co-founders of this game, and so he does a very nice thread to kind of explain what's going on with the community. Thank you for all your support so far. It's a lot of hard work. We're excited for today's token launch and keen to share with you what's coming next. While mainnet is already live, there's work to be done to migrate everything over from testnet to mainnet, and then you can see below the thread, and then you can see all of the different milestones that they're looking to hit. Again, they've really crushed the testnet. They've gone live finally with mainnet, and the token is now live. So I'm really keen to see how this all plays out, because again, this is all an experiment in tokenomics. There's other influencers saying, for real, I genuinely think Gunzilla Games is about to flip the whole AAA gaming economy. Been talking about Gunzilla since last year. We've come a long way. Off the Grid topped Epic Game Store. Now Gun is coming to Binance. So it's very, very exciting to finally see a AAA game live in the crypto space. We've been waiting for this for so many years. It's finally here. So let's see how this all plays out. All right, so now let's talk about the token. It launched a week ago. And I wanted to show you kind of a couple of things to keep an eye out, obviously, right? So if it launched a week ago, we'll put 7 days. Obviously, it's down 54%. But again, I mean, the timing couldn't have been, the timing was pretty much, you can't control the timing, right? Because Trump announced tariffs across the world. There's so much uncertainty going on in the economies, and you just can't, manage these kind of things. But it's down 54%, and that's just the reality of launching a token and putting your token out there for everyone to trade. that's what happens. But if you look at some things that I need to, I want to try to teach you and kind of looking out what you should look out for in new token launches are circulating supply over total supply. And we discussed this. Circulating supply only 704 million, which anyways, that's a lot, by the way. And total supply is 10 billion. But what's nice with CoinMarketCap is you can go to token unlocks here. And this is exactly what we were discussing earlier. So you can see because crypto is so transparent, you can see who owns what. And so like you have the KOL rounds. So I guess those are the Mario Nofels and those, but maybe Mario did invest directly into it. So he could be part of the strategic round or advisors even, we don't know. But the KOL round, they get 0.3%. Founders in the team keep 12.8%. Strategic round, advisors, Guns Foundation gets 9%. And here you can see pretty much the whole allocation of the tokens. And then you get to see the unlocked, locked, and untracked. So the unlocked right now is the 7% that you saw, the 704 million. The locked right now is 93% of the supply. And then here's how they've decided to do the unlock schedule. And it's so transparent. You can see everything from who the founders and team, strategic round, advisors, and you can do it overall so that the final distribution is going to be done on the 1st of January 2029, which you can see right here. And then you just can see kind of the cliff and then the vesting schedule moving forward. So it's going to be interesting. Again, tokenomics in general is an experiment, and hopefully this one works better than the ones you've seen before. And if it does, then hopefully we'll see other AAA games kind of adapt and build upon this as well. So just wanted to show you guys this and understand how you can also break down different tokenomic structures and unlocks for different projects that start to launch. So what's next for Gunzilla? Well, it isn't stopping at Off the Grid. Their vision for 2025 and 2026 is quite big. They aim to position the Guns blockchain ecosystem as the go-to platform for Web3 gaming experiences. This involves forging strategic partnerships, integrating more games into their ecosystem, and continuously enhancing Off the Grid with fresh content and features. By doing so, they hope to bridge the gap between traditional gamers and the Web3 space, making blockchain gaming more mainstream. While the prospects of Off the Grid are exciting, it's essential to approach with caution. Here are 4 factors to consider. Number 1, market volatility. Post-launch, Gun experienced significant price fluctuations. It has dropped over 50% in just 7 days after its launch. Number 2, adoption rates. The success of Gun is intrinsically linked to Off the Grid's player base. If the game doesn't achieve anticipated adoption levels, the token's utility and value could be compromised. Number 3, regulatory landscape. The fusion of gaming and blockchain is still a gray area in many jurisdictions. Potential regulatory changes could influence the game's operations and the token's viability. And number 4, operational challenges. Developing a AAA game with integrated blockchain features is no small feat. Delays, technical glitches, or unmet expectations could impact both the game's and token success. Off the Grid is not the only player in the field. 2025 is set to witness the launch of several AAA blockchain games. The first one is Nyan Heroes. It's built on the Solana blockchain. This third-person shooter features Nyan cats piloting mechs. I think I got that wrong. It's currently in early access on the Epic Game Store with alpha playtests slated for 2025. Another one is Shrapnel, an upcoming AAA first-person shooter that integrates blockchain elements, aiming to offer players true ownership of in-game assets. Let's take a second to talk about the game that could literally take over the entire gaming world later this year, Grand Theft Auto 6. Rockstar Games has officially announced a fall 2025 release window for PlayStation 5 and Xbox. And let's be honest, millions of gamers have been waiting nearly a decade for this moment. This isn't just another sequel, it's shaping up to be a massive cultural event. Reports suggest that GTA 6 has already cost Rockstar over $2 billion to develop, making it the most expensive video game ever produced. And it's been in development for close to 10 years, so expectations couldn't be higher. Even in a year full of Web3 and blockchain-based releases, it's hard to imagine any game matching the mindshare GTA 6 will command when it drops. Like it or not, this is the title that's going to dominate streams, dominate timelines, and conversations across the entire gaming community for months, if not years. And there you have it. Off the Grid isn't just a game. It's an exciting glimpse into where the future of gaming and crypto might be headed. Whether it succeeds or stumbles, it's one of the most ambitious attempts we've seen to merge true gameplay with blockchain tech. The team is stacked. The vision is massive, and the tokenomics, well, they're doing a few things differently this time. Of course, no project is without risk, especially in this space, but that's what makes it so fascinating to watch. As always, none of this is financial advice, just a deeper look into one of the most talked about projects in Web3 gaming right now. So, if you've enjoyed this breakdown, or if you learned something new, drop a like and share this video with someone who's into crypto or gaming, or both. Make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on more deep dives like this. Here at the Crypto Code, we break down the signal from the noise so you don't have to. If you made it this far in the video, thank you. See you next week.